Olá, você está entrando num site que não faz rodeio e que vai te mostrar por que as coisas aqui no planeta não andam nada bem. E se a gente não cuidar do meio ambiente e não mudar o nosso jeito de fazer as coisas, vai tudo pro beleléu. O Mercado Ético conseguiu uma entrevista exclusiva, nada menos do que com Gore.
I am Al Gore. I used to be the next president of the United States of America. I don't find that particularly funny.
Ele foi convidado pela Ancham para entregar o prêmio Eco 2006. Gore aproveitou a ocasião para anunciar o documentário que ele realizou, Uma Verdade Inconveniente. E também lançou o livro, que tem o mesmo nome.
I've seen scientists who were persecuted.
Para o Gore, vivemos hoje uma crise global que está colocando em risco a nossa própria capacidade de seguir vivendo.
If you look at the 10 hottest years ever measured, they've all occurred in the last 14 years. And the hottest of all was 2005.
Esse é o documentário, Uma Verdade Inconveniente. Gore demonstra de maneira categórica a nossa responsabilidade pelas mudanças climáticas que estão abalando o equilíbrio ambiental do planeta. Ele mostra que o aquecimento global já afeta a vida de milhões de seres humanos e projeta um futuro trágico se nada for feito a partir de agora para conter.
This is what would happen in Florida. Around Shanghai, home to 40 million people. The area around Calcutta, 60 million. Here's Manhattan. The World Trade Center Memorial would be underwater. Think of the impact of a couple 100,000 refugees, and then imagine 100 million.
Nesta sua meteórica passagem por São Paulo, Gore deu uma entrevista exclusiva para a estudiosa do futuro, Rosa Alegria, e para o jornalista Ricardo Carvalho, ambos diretores do nosso Mercado Ético. Na entrevista, Gore destacou a responsabilidade das organizações empresariais e dos meios de comunicação na busca de caminhos mais sustentáveis para a vida no planeta. Vamos assistir juntos?
Sir, why is so important for the planet, for the future, to have an ethical market nowadays?
Well, the marketplace is one of the principal ways we decide what kind of future we want. And if we don't make careful choices, then the rules of the marketplace can push us toward results that we don't want, or that we don't like. There was a psychologist once named Abraham Maslow, famous for the study of what's valuable and what's not. And he once said, if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem begins to look like a nail. And in the same way, if when we go into the marketplace, the only tool we use for deciding what is valuable is the price tag, then those things that don't have price tags may begin to seem as if they have no value.
Sure.
And the economists have a word, externalities, that they use to describe all those things that don't have price tags that they don't want to follow very carefully. But if you look at the externalities, they include air, which actually we internalize regularly,
right.
Water, which
right.
we internalize. The beauty of a sunset, the love of our families, the health and vitality of communities. These are all things that are important to us, and since the marketplace is also very important to us for our livelihood and for deciding how to allocate resources and how to value work and how to distribute goods and services, it's important to try to find ways to get the marketplace to operate effectively in its own economic terms but to operate in ways that actually take into account these things that are sometimes ignored by the strict rules of classical economics, because those rules are faulty. When you say ethical, what you're really saying is it recognizes the values that we know to be true and right. For example, we don't want products in the marketplace that are harmful to young children.
Sure.
Just to use that one example, it would be unethical to have the mass marketing of products that hurt children. If we relied only on the economic rules, it might be a long time before those kinds of products were removed. And so we decide, as mothers and fathers and family members, that we're going to require that the marketplace act in ways that are ethical, even if the economic patterns take a long time to recognize that. We're going to say, no, that's not good enough. We need to recognize that more quickly.
On your book that I have here in Portuguese, you say something about to bring the capitalism into our cause, I mean, to save the planet. How to do that? How to take the capitalism and put on the roles of the future, of the conservation.
Yes.
How to do that?
Well, there are many ways to do it, and the good news is that a lot of companies, a lot of CEOs are now learning that they can make profits if they recognize these values and behave in ways that are ethical for the planet, that people want to buy their products.
Sure.
Because what they're buying is not only the physical matter of the product, they're buying a set of feelings that they have about that product. And if they own a wooden object that has been made in ways that have led to death and suffering, they aren't going to feel good about owning that. So companies that take great care to behave ethically are now finding better markets for their products.
You have a good examples that in the States, right? I mean, from enterprise companies that are ethical and they make more money, but they have to respect the planet, I mean, to respect the future. This is possible, right? And what to say to the businessmen or to the enterprises, to the companies, to do that and to convince them, do that because you're going to earn more money?
Yeah.
That's a very hard job, isn't it?
Well, not necessarily. I'm hearing from more and more business leaders who are very responsive to that proposal. And one of the keys is, what time frame are you using to measure what's profitable and what's not profitable? If you are focused on the next quarterly report, that is the next 3 months, then some of the investments that might otherwise be very profitable and help the environment in the process, help the company become more efficient, they may not seem to be profitable if you're only interested in the short term.
Sure.
But if you are willing to operate in what I would regard as a realistic way and look over a period of a few years, then the value of those kinds of choices becomes more obvious.
Sure.
And in corporate finance 101, if you go to graduate school and take that course, they teach that the real value of a company typically builds up over a period of 6, 7, 8, 9 years. 80% or more of the value builds up over a business cycle and a half. If investors put their money into that company and then take it back out again in 2 or 3 months, then they're not really investing.
Of course.
They're speculating.
Right.
They may call it momentum investing,
Right.
But I've been to Las Vegas and I've been momentum investing at the casino.
That's true.
Speak about media. You are the one who have vision about a new paradigm in the media.
Yes.
You've been speaking about how humanity can help, can awake for the cause of the planet. In your opinion, how can the media help accelerate this process for the people to evolve into a new economic paradigm, into a new economic order?
I think that the media are more useful to us as human beings when they are more accessible to us, not only to receive information from them, but to contribute information, including our points of view, so that individuals are not shut out of the group conversation. When individuals can freely join the conversation, then the opinions that rise to the surface are those that are judged by the masses of those who are taking part to be valuable. Before the printing press, there was an information monopoly, and feudalism and the Dark Ages resulted. The printing press opened up a vigorous discussion that individuals could take part in, and that led to the Enlightenment and the rule of reason. The television medium, which has been
TV
dominant,
also, right? I mean,
not
web
TV is different.
Okay, let's
And I'll talk about that. But television in the form of broadcast and satellite and cable has been controlled by a relatively small group.
It's true.
And it has been very difficult for individuals to join the conversation. The masses of people find the information on television to be more accessible than ever before in history. But it's only one way, and they're just absorbing it. And so when individuals don't take part in the conversation, then they are not able to enrich the conversation with fresh perspectives from individuals. And those who have more money are able to have more access to dominate the kinds of ideas that are discussed on television. Now, the Internet is a revolutionary, positive force, in my view, mainly positive, opening up that public conversation to individuals again. It has been difficult because of the architecture and structure of the Internet, packet switching, they call it, distributed processing, for people to have the mass distribution of live television in real time. Web TV can go to a limited number of people, and there are other ways to use the Internet to distribute television. But the main satellite and cable television industry is now still dominant in the political systems of most countries, especially in the U.S.
Why do you say that the web TV goes to just a few people? The web TV, why? For me, I think we have the whole world to talk with.
I'm all for you. I'm all for you. I'm all for you, and I'm optimistic about the future of it. But if you wanted to create an hour-long television program,
No. We have to go to the language of the way it goes on the web TV.
Yeah, it's different.
It has to be short and.
But in the political system, I'm more knowledgeable about the U.S. political system, so forgive me.
No, it's okay.
In the U.S. political system, the candidates who are running for election, the election is just 3 weeks away, they're raising a lot of money for their campaigns. 80% of what they're spending to purchase 30-second television commercials, not on the Internet, but on TV, on broadcast, cable, and satellite. Now, why is that? The reason is that it is still the dominant medium.
It is. I have no doubt about it. Would you say some message to our people? Our people are students, are businessmen, people who want to change. Would you finish that with a message to them?
Sure. The climate crisis is now a full-scale planetary emergency. It's filled with opportunity, but we must respond to it. And students have a special role to play. Learn about it, go to see the movie, An Inconvenient Truth, read the book, empower yourselves with knowledge, challenge your elders, ask them to explain to you why this isn't immoral, what we're doing to the planet. It is immoral. They won't be able to answer you, but the force of your question will help to bring about change. So I hope that you will become involved in this global effort to save the planet's environment. We still have time to do it. We have everything we need, with the possible exception of political will. But in our democracies, political will is a renewable resource. Thank you.